My child, I need you to quiet your soul. Let go of every distraction, every worry that flits through your mind, and every task that calls for your hands. For these next few moments, I ask for your undivided heart, for the words I am about to speak are not common whispers. They are sacred currents from the river of eternity, and they flow directly to you. There is a moment approaching in the tapestry of your life, a convergence of threads that was woven into the pattern long ago. It is a predestined point in time, a place where a great and heavy shadow was designed to fall. My beloved child, before your heart begins to race, before fear can build its cold walls around you, I want you to feel the warmth of my presence wrapping around you like a protective cloak. I must first impress upon you the reality of this moment. It is indeed written. This shadow, this potential for deep sorrow, was inscribed in the chronicles of what could be, and it holds the power to profoundly alter the course of your life. But hear my next words with even greater clarity. This tragedy is not meant to land upon you directly. It was written to touch the one you love most in this world, the person whose soul is intertwined with yours, whose absence would feel like the dimming of the sun. Yes, it is written in the language of destiny as a deep eclipse, a darkness designed to pass over the brightest part of your world. You may feel the gravity of this truth settling upon you, a weight you were not meant to carry alone. But listen to me. My purpose in revealing this is not to shatter your peace, but to fortify it. I am not here to crush you with foreknowledge, but to prepare you, to awaken a strength within you that you do not yet know, and to illuminate the sacred path that leads away from what was inscribed and into the safety of my will. Do not be afraid, my cherished one. Do not tremble before a future that has not yet unfolded. I am your Father. I have always been your eternal refuge, the stronghold you can run to, your shelter in the midst of any storm. If I am pulling back the veil to show you this hidden chapter of destiny, it is a sign of immense trust. It is because I have chosen you for a purpose far greater than you can currently see, and you must be ready to stand in your calling. I do not give this kind of revelation to everyone. I entrust these deeper truths only to those whose spirits I have forged in a special fire, those whom I am shaping to be pillars of faith in a faltering world. The truth I share is heavy, I know this. But within this very weight lies the seed of a miracle, the key to a profound transformation. What has been written by the hand of consequence can be erased and rewritten by the hand of grace. What was destined to be a story of loss can be redeemed and turned into a testimony of life. This potential tragedy was permitted to appear on the scroll of your life as a crucible, a profound test of love, a searching examination of your faith, and a deep, soul-bearing call to surrender everything to me. It was permitted so that you would be forced to discover where your true treasure is buried, so that your heart would be irrevocably drawn closer to mine as you walk through the valley of the shadow of death. But you must hear me now with every fiber of your being. Though it was permitted to be written, I, the Lord, your God, the Alpha and the Omega, am not bound by it. I am not a prisoner to the ink on a page. My child, destiny is not a cage when it is placed in the hands of the one who created it. I am the author. I write, and I have the power to erase. I ordain the sunrise and the sunset, and I can command the sun to stand still. I breathe life into dust, and I can breathe life back into a story that seemed sealed with finality. The one you love so dearly, the one whose laughter is music to your spirit, whose very presence brings a settled peace to your soul, yes, in the cold, hard language of earthly destiny, their timeline was marked. A line was drawn, indicating where their breath might cease and their journey here might end. But hear my heart in this. This is not my delight. I find no joy in tearing from you the beautiful gifts I myself have given. I do not rejoice in sorrow or loss. My very nature is life, and I desire to give it more abundantly. My child, I need you to anchor yourself in this truth. Your tears are not invisible to me. Your cries are heard in my throne room before they even form on your lips. I am not a distant, indifferent deity watching events unfold from afar. I am closer to you than the air you breathe. I am present in every beat of your heart, and I am listening to the silent scream that rises in your soul at this revelation. You must understand that this world is a complex arena where light and darkness are in a constant, relentless struggle. The choices of others, the sins of ancestors, the curses spoken long ago, these things echo through generations and have consequences. Sometimes, the tragedies that appear to be written for your life were not planted there by my hand, but are the bitter harvest of seeds that were sown in the earth long before you were born. Sometimes these shadows are not my perfect design, but the lingering fingerprints of a broken world. Yet even in this brokenness, my authority remains supreme. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can happen without my ultimate permission. And when I allow you to see a glimpse of what was written, it is never to torment you. It is always an invitation. It is a call to partner with me to see it overturned. It is my signal to you that I am preparing to intervene, if you will only align your heart completely with mine. My child, listen to the urgency in my voice. I am telling you this so that you will stop living a casual, distracted life. I am telling you this so you will no longer walk in a spiritual slumber while unseen dangers are moving around you. I want you fully awake. I want you spiritually alert. I want you on your knees before me, not in the panic of fear, but in the profound trust of a child who knows their father is in control. For though a shadow was written in the scroll, my light is infinitely more powerful and can consume it entirely. Though an ending was traced onto the page, I can extend the line indefinitely. Though a measure of sorrow was allocated, I can pour out a measure of joy so great that it overflows and washes away every trace of grief. Do not for a second entertain the thought that I am powerless or that I have abandoned you to a cruel fate. The very fact that I am speaking this to you now is the ultimate proof of my love and my intention to act. I am exposing the enemy's plan so that you can join me in rewriting it. This is your moment to rewrite your destiny through the power of relentless prayer, through the beauty of complete surrender, through the strength of radical obedience, and through the kind of mountain-moving faith that I have placed within you. I know, my child, I can feel your heart trembling. I can hear the questions forming in your spirit. Why me? Why must I be the one to carry this knowledge? Why now, when everything seemed peaceful? Why must I hear something so terrifying? But you must know this. I speak to you because you are strong enough to bear this word. I speak because I trust the spirit I have placed within you. You may see yourself as small, as weak, as utterly incapable of changing something as immense as destiny. But I do not see you as you see yourself. I see the warrior spirit I have been forging in you through all your previous trials. I see a soul that bears my seal, a heart that is capable of extraordinary love and faith. That is why I am revealing to you what most will never hear. That is why I am extending to you a divine invitation to stand with me against the handwriting of this tragedy. Do not misunderstand me. This moment of destiny is not a fairy tale or a metaphor. It is real. It has weight in the spiritual realm. If left unchallenged, if ignored, if you continue to walk in spiritual apathy, it will come to pass. It is the unvarnished truth of what is recorded in the chronicles of consequence. But I have given you authority, my child. I have vested in you a spiritual authority that you have not yet begun to comprehend. You have authority through your faith in me. You have authority through the power of the name of my Son, a name that is above every other name. You have the authority to stand in the gap, to uproot what was planted by darkness, to cancel decrees of death and destruction, and to stand as a powerful intercessor for the one you love. The one you love does not see this shadow. They are walking in the light of their everyday life, blissfully unaware of the danger that was written for them. But I have opened your eyes for a reason. I want you to be their watchman. I want you to stand as a shield between them and this impending death. I want you to cry out on their behalf, to plead their case before my throne of grace, and to believe with every ounce of your being that I, your God, your Father, will hear you and I will act. When I sent my prophets in the days of old, I often showed them the judgments that were written and set to come upon the people. Sometimes those judgments came to pass, but so many times they were reversed. They were canceled. They were rewritten. Why? Because my people prayed, because they humbled themselves and turned their hearts back to me, because they abandoned their wicked ways and called upon my mercy. Remember the great city of Nineveh. Destruction was written for them, a final and absolute decree. Yet when they repented from the king to the lowliest servant, I relented and rewrote their destiny. Remember King Hezekiah. My prophet told him to set his house in order, for death was decreed for him. But when Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and cried out to me with bitter tears, I heard him. I saw his tears, and I added 15 years to his life. I am telling you these stories not as relics of a distant past, but as living testimonies of my character and my unchanging principles. The same God who wrote mercy for Nineveh is the God who is ready to write mercy for you. The same God who extended the life of Hezekiah is the God who can extend the life of your beloved. So my child, you must be resolute. Do not allow fear to take root in the soil of your heart. Fear is the native language of the enemy. It paralyzes and torments. Faith is the language of my kingdom. It activates power and brings peace. If you must tremble, let it be with a holy awe of my power and my love, not with the hopeless despair of one who feels doomed. I am not showing you this potential tragedy so that you will be crushed by it. I am showing it to you so that you will rise above it. This is not a sentence of doom. It is an invitation to partnership. It is an invitation to a level of intimacy with me, a depth of prayer, a willingness to sacrifice, and a knowledge of my heart that you have never experienced before. When you cry out for the one you love, you are stepping into the flow of my own heart, for I too weep over the brokenness and pain of my children. When you carry their burden in prayer, you are participating in the divine love that I continually pour out for all of humanity. Never again say, "It is written, therefore it cannot be changed." Do not chain yourself to a fatalistic view of the world. I am not fate. I am God. I am not bound by destiny. I am the one who shapes it. And I tell you with absolute certainty, if you will align yourself with my purposes, if you will walk in the path of obedience I lay before you, if you will cry out to me day and night without ceasing, if you refuse to let go of my hand in the darkness, I will intervene. What was written as tragedy will be rewritten as testimony. Where others would have gathered to mourn, there will be feasts of laughter and thanksgiving. Where the grave was preparing to open its mouth, there will be abundant life and a future filled with hope. My child, listen even more closely now, for these are not just words of comfort. They are words of instruction. They are spirit and they are life. I am giving you the secret, the divine key that has the power to change what is written. The tragedy that was mocked in your destiny has a spiritual weight to it. It has a power and a claim in the unseen realm. But its weight is not greater than the weight of your surrender. its power is not greater than the power of your alignment with me. You ask how you can make its effect negligible, how you can render it null and void so that it touches neither you nor the one you love. The answer is not found in frantic human effort, nor in anxious striving, nor in the strength of your own hands. The answer is found in a posture of the heart, a posture of absolute surrender. It is found within the sacred covenant of trust and on the path of unwavering devotion that I am calling you to walk right now. You must understand, child, that this impending tragedy is like a shadow. A shadow can be long and terrifying. It can move and stretch and intimidate all who see it. But a shadow has no substance, no power of its own. A shadow can only exist when something is blocking the light. If you and your loved one learn to walk fully in my light, to abide completely in my presence, the shadow will have nowhere to fall. It will lose its power to touch you. The moment that was written in your destiny is a shadow seeking to cast itself over your joy. But I, who am light eternal, can dissolve that shadow with a single breath if you will commit to remaining in my presence. This is why I am calling you to a new level of communion. Abide in me day and night. Let nothing come between us. If you allow anything else to stand between you and me, be it pride, unforgiveness, worldly distractions, or fear itself, the object will cast a shadow, giving the tragedy a place to land. But if you are fully hidden in me, if your life is so intertwined with mine that we are one, then the shadow will pass over you and find nothing to cling to. It will not be able to remain. So what must you do, practically starting today? First, you must guard your inner world with a fierce vigilance. Your heart and mind are the battlefield. Do not allow bitterness to take root over old wounds. Do not let anger fester like a poison in your soul. Above all, you must refuse to let fear build a nest in your thoughts. The unseen world is highly responsive to the condition of your spirit. When you harbor fear, you send a signal to the darkness that you are vulnerable, that you believe its power is greater than mine. But when you consciously choose to harbor faith, you send a divine command that darkness has no legal entry point. Therefore, you must train your mind. Discipline your thoughts to dwell only on what is true, what is noble, what is right, what is pure, what is lovely, what is admirable. Speak words of life from your mouth, not words of death and doubt. Bless your loved one, bless your future, and do not curse them with fearful predictions. In this way, you are actively building a fortress of light around yourself and the one you love. Second, you must learn the immense power of sustained intercession. This tragedy was written for the one who holds your heart. You cannot carry their destiny for them, but you can stand in the gap between them and destruction through the power of your prayers. When you pray, you are not just whispering words into the air. You are stepping into the courtroom of heaven itself. In that courtroom, the accuser of souls stands, demanding that the tragic sentence be carried out. He points to generational patterns, to past sins, to hidden faults, to every legal right he believes he has. But when you stand to intercede, you do not plead your own righteousness. You plead the righteousness of my Son. His blood speaks a bearer word. His sacrifice on the cross silences every accusation and cancels every decree of death. Each time you pray for your loved one, you are presenting new evidence for the case of mercy. You are calling upon me, the highest judge, and my heart is always inclined toward mercy. Do not ever think your prayers are weak or ineffective. They are spiritual weapons. They are shields of faith. They are powerful petitions that are recorded and sealed in my presence. Each prayer builds the case. Each tear you shed adds weight to your plea. Each cry of faith strengthens the divine defense. The tragedy may be written on the docket, but your persistent prayer can move me to rewrite the final verdict. Do not grow weary, my child. Persevere. Even when you see no outward change, Know that in the unseen realm, the scales of justice are tipping in your favor. Third, commit to a life of radical obedience. There is no power on earth or in heaven greater than the power released by a life that is fully surrendered to me. The shadow cannot cling to a vessel that belongs completely to me.